Hello everyone and welcome back to Turkish Series Stars. Today we're bringing you the kind of breaking update that takes over the entire Turkish entertainment world and refuses to let go. What started as a calm, routine interview turned into a moment that left the studio breathless and set the internet ablaze. The names at the center of it all are Alina and Navruz, a pair whose presence alone can spark thousands of conversations, and this time, the talk has reached a fever pitch. It began with a sit-down chat where Alp was supposed to highlight his latest projects, the scripts he's considering, the directors he admires, and the rhythms of his career. He looked composed, charming, completely in his element. For a while, that's exactly what the conversation was: his craft, the hours on set, the discipline, the choices, the challenges. He kept it professional, never letting the curtain lift too high on his private life. That is something Alp rarely does. He is famously protective of what happens away from the cameras. But then the interviewer said Alina's name and mentioned the whispers that have been swirling for weeks. There was a pause. Alp leaned back for a second, as if weighing a single sentence against the weight of the moment. Then he allowed a small smile, the kind that says more than the words that follow. When he finally spoke, the tone of the interview changed instantly. He said, with a calm certainty that echoed across the studio, that Alina means the world to him and that very soon they are expecting something beautiful to enter their lives. It was direct without being blunt, intimate without being exposed, and it landed like a bell tolling in the stillness. Everyone in the room went quiet before the reaction rushed in. The producers looked at each other, the host widened their eyes, and the crew held their breath as if the cameras might also be listening for more. But Alp didn't add anything. He let the words linger. The moment the clip aired, everything else faded from the public's attention. People barely talked about the movie plans or the set stories. They were fixated on what his statement could mean. Was it the hint everyone suspected it was? Was he really implying that Alina is expecting? Within minutes, social platforms were carried away by a current of speculation. Trending lists filled with combinations of their names and phrases like Alp's confession, Alina expecting, and the beautiful surprise. Fans cut the interview into short clips and shared them non-stop, slowing them down to examine his expressions, repeating the sentence with captions that felt both overjoyed and disbelieving. It was like watching a wave crest, comments pouring in from Turkey and beyond, the clip flying into feeds and reels, edits flashing with their most romantic photos. The fandom's reactions split into two familiar currents: delight and cautious curiosity. Many fans celebrated in the comments, calling it the sweetest surprise of the year, saying it felt like watching a romantic story step out of the spotlight and into real life. One fan wrote that if it's true, they were already in tears because Alina and Alp would be the gentlest, most loving parents. Another said their journey, from two beloved stars intertwined by fate and timing, to a couple building something deeper, only grows more beautiful with each chapter. The outpouring was immediate and wholehearted. Yet the other current flowed just as strongly, the careful, analytical breakdown of the words he chose. Some wondered whether it was a poetic line, a private milestone hinted at in a way that wasn't meant to confirm anything. Others asked if perhaps the beautiful thing he mentioned could be a collaboration or a cause they were about to champion together. Even the words themselves, expecting something beautiful, were examined down to syllables, as if parsing a script for hidden meanings. Meanwhile, Alina hasn't stepped forward to confirm or deny anything. She has said nothing definitive. But that silence, as it often does, attracted more attention than any statement could. Attentive followers pointed to her recent public appearances where she favored soft silhouettes and looser fits, the kind of airy, comfortable looks that keep the focus away from contours. They also noticed that she has avoided the longest, most grueling night shoots and had quietly rearranged a few commitments. Nothing dramatic, nothing announced, just a gentle shift in rhythm that fed the conversation rather than settled it. Sources familiar with set dynamics and wardrobe choices have offered small but telling details. People who see the daily flow of fittings and call sheets say Alina has taken a breather from accepting new roles right away. Instead, she's been carving out more time at home, gathering moments with family and with Alp, protecting what matters most to her in a period that already feels charged with possibility. One insider insists there's a calm joy surrounding them, a bright anticipation that can't be faked. And those who have glimpsed Alp recently say his warmth toward Alina has turned even more attentive, more protective, in the sweetest way. This is a couple whose presence, whether they're at a premiere or simply photographed walking out of a venue, invites a kind of collective sigh. Their eye contact, the way they stand slightly angled toward each other, the subtle gestures that say more than any red carpet motto, these are the details fans hold on to. They've both built careers on talent and discipline, but together they create a kind of harmony that translates even in candid moments. That is why this whisper of a revelation hits so deeply. It adds a new layer to a bond the public has watched with curiosity and affection. If the rumors are true, then what lies ahead could be their most meaningful chapter yet. The idea of them stepping into parenthood, of them becoming not just two people in love but a family, has touched a chord. Fans picture Alp as the steady, gentle anchor, always present, always thoughtful. They see Alina as luminous and grounded, someone who would bring the same grace she shows on screen to the quiet routines of a new life. The very thought has sent the fandom into daydreams, creating collages of imagined nurseries and storybook mornings in warm light. And still, the official silence remains. Since Alp's interview, neither he nor Alina has released a formal statement. That quiet hasn't cooled the conversation, it has made it more intense. People are now waiting for a post, a message, an interview from Alina herself. They want to hear the truth in her voice, to see it in her smile, to know whether that sentence was a careful, heartfelt hint or a deliberate, tender announcement spoken in a way that felt safest to them. It's a line between privacy and openness that this couple has always walked with intention. There's also a respectful understanding threading through the chaos. Whatever is happening belongs first and foremost to Alina and Alp. In the rush to speculate, many fans have remembered to be kind, to give space. You can feel that in the tone of the discussions, in the way people phrase their hopes, in how they say they will celebrate whenever and however the couple chooses to share. Even the most excited voices often end with a promise to wait, to listen, to accept what the two of them want to reveal. Yet no one can deny the ripple effect of that single sentence. People inside the industry have been whispering, too, publicists checking schedules, magazines sketching cover plans they might never use, producers quietly asking around. When two stars at the center of the cultural conversation hint at a life milestone, the entire ecosystem reacts. That's what we're seeing in real time. It's not just headline fodder, it's a shift in narrative, the kind that real life writes when it wants to surprise us. Friends close to the couple, or at least those who speak like they are, paint a picture of calm excitement. They say the two have been spending evenings away from flashbulbs, sharing dinners with a small circle, pausing to breathe between obligations, and choosing softness over spectacle. They say Alp's instinct is to shield, to hold the moment close. They say Alina's instinct is to cherish, to keep anything delicate away from the noise until it's strong enough to meet the world. Across fan spaces, montages have bloomed overnight. Old interviews stitched next to that new line. Candid photos paired with songs that sound like promises. Edits reimagining their timelines, emphasizing the glances, the understated gestures, the rare but telling phrases. Comment sections read like diaries. You get the sense that this community isn't just consuming a story, it's living in it, feeling it in waves, as if the happiness of two people they admire has somehow brushed up against their own lives. Of course, there are skeptics. There always are. Some argue this could be a clever diversion, a way to steer attention away from work deals or to build anticipation for a project that requires a little mystery. Some caution that beauty can mean anything and that nobody should jump to conclusions. They call for patience, for clarity. And in their own way, they, too, are rooting for the couple to lead the narrative, to speak when ready and only then. For now, all eyes turn toward Alina. They want to know what she will say, how she will choose to meet this moment. Will she echo his words with one of her own, simple and bright? Will she stay quiet and let the speculation burn itself out? Will there be a photograph that tells the story without a single caption? These are the questions buzzing in messages, group chats, and coffee shop conversations, questions that won't settle until the couple gives them a home. What we know is that one carefully placed sentence from Alp has sent a tremor through the spotlight. It has reminded everyone that between the glamour and the cameras are two people who have always been intentional about what they share and when. It has also reminded us how powerful a whisper can be when it's sincere. Whether it was meant as a signpost or a soft, personal revelation, the effect has been the same. The entire industry is talking about Alina and Alp. So where does this leave us tonight? Somewhere between a heartbeat and a headline. The devotion of their fans is louder than ever, and the curiosity is impossible to deny. But above all, there's a tenderness to the mood, a feeling that whatever is unfolding should be handled with care. If this is the beginning of a new chapter for the couple, one filled with tiny socks and lullabies, with quiet mornings and laughter that starts in the eyes, then it is a chapter they will write together. We'll be here watching, waiting, listening with the same patience many of you have promised. Until there is a statement, a photograph, or a simple nod that confirms what so many are hoping, we'll keep our focus where it belongs, on the grace with which Alina and Alp handle the attention and on the sincere happiness that seems to surround them right now. Maybe this was an announcement dressed as a secret. Maybe it was a secret dressed as a hint. Either way, it was enough to change the air. Tell us what you think. Was this Alp's gentle way of sharing life-changing news, or was it a heartfelt phrase that everyone ran with too fast? Do you think an official confirmation is coming soon, or will they let the moment stay quiet a little longer? Share your thoughts below, and if you don't want to miss a single update on your favorite Turkish stars, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is Turkish Series Stars, and we'll bring you every development the moment it happens, patiently, respectfully, and with all the excitement this story deserves.